question, Coach.
Yeah, man, thanks for being here. Great crowd tonight. Really proud of my team. As a coach, these are the teams that, you saw with that team offensively. If you're not dialed in, they can really score the ball and make shots and push the ball. And, I knew it was going to present a little bit different a challenge of us tonight than the first two. The first two, we kind of played more methodical teams that wanted to play tempo, and these guys wanted to run and shoot. And I just thought our defense early was terrific. It allowed us to get out on the open floor, get some easy baskets. A lot of guys had great performances tonight. I thought Arrington's energy and motor to start the game was huge. I thought his two loose balls he dove for were two of the biggest plays just because it set the tone. When the biggest guy on the floor is getting on the floor like that for loose balls, it sets a tone for his teammates, but also to the other team. And I'm just really proud of how hard he's playing. And he got us off to a great start with his buckets around the basket. And then I thought Justin Mullins in the first half, his minutes were huge. I thought Trey got two quick fouls there. We went to Justin. Justin got double figures there in the first half. And it wasn't just that. It was his defense, his energy. He got out on the open floor. I thought a lot of guys did well. And then really proud of Max Green. A recurring theme in our locker room is, that we need everybody to just stay ready when called upon. And I tell these guys every day, like I would love to play, all of our guys 30-plus minutes. I think I would love to start them all and play them all 30 minutes, and it's just impossible to do that. And, on a given night with how the game's going, we got to be okay. Everybody's got to have a great attitude and be okay, with what the opportunities are that night. And, for Max to not play in the first half, after not playing very well, in the last game, and he was ready. And not only was he ready, he had a great attitude. He was talking on the bench. He was enthusiastic, went to him there. And to see him have that spurt was awesome, for his confidence, but also for our team and for people to realize, like, he can break a game open. You bring him in and he hits 3 or 4 threes like that, that can break a game, a close game open. So really proud of him, proud of all the guys. This was an important 3-game stretch for us, 3 home games. We now go on the road for 5 straight. So, this was important to take care of business at home and get some momentum, as we head to DePaul on Friday, which is going to be a tough environment, a tough place to play, a much improved DePaul team that's super well coached.
Over the years about the importance of maintaining a competitive standard, and we obviously see you still getting on guys, even though you're up big late in games. But a game like this, 5 guys scoring 15 plus, team gets 110. Is this fun to coach?
Yeah, I loved how we were playing. And what you want to do, though, is you just want to continue to teach, throughout the game. Like, I got real angry at the end of the first half. We had the ability to hold for the last shot, and even though Justin had it going, like, they trapped and he was open and he shot a 3. So, like, little things like that, because when you're in closer games, you got to wait for the last shot. Or, we're still building habits too. So, like, even though we had that big lead, I just kept preaching to the guys that we had a lot of young guys that were on the floor during that time, those last 10 minutes, new players and young players, like, let's keep building the right habits. Let's not get caught up just because the game is out of hand. But yeah, to see our guys playing that hard, to play with that kind of spirit, to have the unselfishness, 26 assists, 7 turnovers, really proud of the group. And it's just the coach's nature, especially early in the year. It's to be proud of them, but also for them to want more, especially as we head into a big game Friday night.
You talked about Max has the ability to break a game open on those 2 deep threes when the ball's in the air. What's going through your head?
I loved it. He's wired a lot like I am. And I that's one of the reasons why I like him so much. I think we have a lot of similarities in our mindset and like you see with some of the swagger he plays with. And so it's probably the first time he's ever had a coach to tell him to shoot more. So and when he shot the long one, he kind of pointed over to me like, I got you, coach, because I want him to shoot the ball. That's what you do, and that's your secret sauce, then you need to do that at a high level. And I'm just really proud of him because I know he's been frustrated. The last couple games hadn't gone as well. He wants to really help the team. He knows he can. He's been putting the time in, so it's really good for him to see that kind of success tonight.
Coach, another 3 assists for AP to go along with a great night from the field. What stands out to you just about his ability as a passer and just the skill set?
Yeah, he's really skilled. He stepped out. He can make a 3. He can play from the elbows and pass. I thought he made some great passes out of double teams. He even had one that Nick, would have been another layup early in the game. I thought Nick kind of, fumbled it out of bounds. But, he's a very talented player. And the thing that I love is he's playing harder consistently than he ever has. And he's trusting us with that. We've put a lot on his plate. We need him. And I think he feels that, and that's why he's playing the best basketball of his life right now, and we just got to keep building. And the more he plays, and hopefully, because he's got a lot to give. He's a very skilled and a very good. He can block shots. You've seen the last 2 games defensively. What he did to the big guy from Boston U. And then tonight he had a different matchup. Garden, 22 Harris, who's a pick and pop kind of flow out jump shooter, and he's out there. He's very mobile for his size. So I'm really proud of what he's doing, and we want him to keep building on it as we move forward.
Coach, back on Max, what was the thought process behind dropping him from the rotation for the first 30 minutes and bringing him in later?
There's really no thought process, guys. It's hard to play 11 guys. You can't. It's just really hard to play 11 guys, and I'm feeling the flow of the game. I really didn't come into the game saying I'm not going to play him in the first half. That's not how I want, in my mind, to see how the game is unfolding. Okay, do we need defense right now? Do we need an offensive firepower? Early in the game, we kind of went to Jordan and Justin because they're 2 of our better perimeter defenders, and we wanted to really set the tone early with defense. And so there was no thought process about dropping in the rotation. I don't view it like that. I really don't. I tell these guys I believe in all of them, and I just want them to stay ready. And they can be mad at me. It's part of it. I get it. There were times when I played and I didn't get what I want, and it's okay to be mad at the coach and want more. And the best way to prove it is by coming in playing well. Because I tell all these guys, I want to win. You guys have seen him. I'll play walk-ons. Blake Smith started for us on an NCAA tournament team. He played over scholarship players because he earned it. So, these guys, they'll get what they earn, and I just want them to keep a really good attitude because it's impossible, guys, to play 11 guys, especially when you have guys like Nick Martinelli and Arrinten Page and Jaden Reed playing those guys are going to play starters minutes. But even tonight in the second half, I thought Jake West's minutes were huge. He came in and played a big bulk of the second half and made some great decisions and ran our team. So I just want all these guys to come in with confidence and not play any mind games, because I'm not playing them. I tell those, don't play mind games with what my role is. Just be ready to go, and when you're called upon, come in and play well. And if you are and the team's doing well, you're going to stay in.
Coach, these past 2 years, Justin's been a guy you guys have really turned to in defensive situations, been more of a defensive type player for you. How encouraging is it to see him showcase that sort of shot-making ability that he hasn't really displayed that much since his career at Denver?
Yeah, he's put a lot of time in. He really has. I'm proud of him. He saw last year at times where people kind of didn't guard him. There were games in the Big Ten where the 5th defender kind of roamed off him and helped on. And I think he took that to heart. And he said, I'm going to come into next year and they're going to have to guard me. And I thought he hit a couple big threes. And this game was kind of tailor-made for him because he's so good in the open floor. When he can get out on the wings and you pass ahead to him and he can attack the basket, a lot of good things happen. But, he got 3 assists tonight, 4 rebounds. Just a really solid, as a senior, that's what you need. He's a senior, right? He's been here for 3 years. He's one of our kind of guys we count on to be there for us as an older player, and he's done a really good job this season. I thought he played great tonight.
You've talked about Page continuing to build. You said you put a lot on his plate. Where do you want to see him continue to grow and continue?
Yeah, just consistent effort every day, and that's what he's done. It's not that he hasn't done that, but just keep coming every day, and because if he continues to stay in good shape, and he continues to learn, and he has the kind of role we're playing through him a lot. We're passing him the ball down low. He's a decision maker. We play through him at the elbows with some of the stuff we do. I just want him to consistently know, like, he's a needed guy. Like, it can't be where he doesn't show up. We need him. Like, and that's what good players, that's what happens when you're a good player. Like, your team needs you to show up every night. And he's done that so far, and that's what I'm proud of. And I'm proud of how hard he's played and with the energy he's played with.
Coach, the team shooting percentage has shot way up from the first game and over the last 2 games. Have you and the coaching staff emphasized anything about shot selection?
Yeah, we just talked about getting a good shot. We have a lot of willing passers. We have an unselfish team, trying to have good spacing, trying to move the ball, trying to give what the defense gives us. I just want to take good shot every possession because I also think we're a good offensive rebounding team. So one of the ways, like, if you take an expected good shot, it gives you a chance then to get an offensive rebound as well. So, I thought in the first game, and I told you guys, the first game is hard to judge because everyone's overexcited. It's the first game of the year. We've been in off season for 6 months. Everybody's in the gym working on their games, excited. It's a new season. And I've always felt like the opening game is always one of the toughest to coach because of just the emotion that the players feel. And that's why we were able to play great defense in that game. And even though we turned it over too much and kind of took some bad shots, I thought our defense saved it. And then as we settled into these last 2 games, we've run more of the kind of offense that we want to run. The last 2 games, what do we have? 5 and then 7 turnovers. And that's more indicative of who we've been as a program, is single digit. 26 assists, 7 turnovers is a great stat for a team that was picking up and pressuring and athletic. So if we can continue to share the ball like that and minimize our turnovers, I think our offense will be pretty efficient.
Time for one more question, Matt.
Coach, it seems like Trey kind of put together for the first
Yeah.
time here. He also picked up kind of an early first, second, and third foul. What was your,
Yeah.
what was the input from you with him throughout the game, and what did it mean to see him finally put together?
Yeah, just stay aggressive. Trey's a really good player. He can do a little bit of everything. And I was really, in the second half, he rattled 2 free throws out in the first. It was almost like he was snake bitten a little bit. He missed 2 free throws. He got a couple tough fouls, and the game was going against him. And I just said, stay aggressive, stay forced. He's a big, strong guy. He's skilled. He can pass. The more he plays and the more he settles down, I think we're going to continue to see what kind of impact he can make on the game. But, for him to get a couple layups in there, he made those 6 free throws in the second half, which was great. Then he rolled out to the corner, hit a big 3. Hopefully that'll be a really good momentum as we head into Friday night's game.
Yeah, that wraps up.
All right, thank you guys. See ya.
There we have Justin Mullins and Arrinten Page here. Who are any questions for these 2? Jake?
Justin, just knowing how much work you put into your shot making over the offseason, how rewarding was it to have a night like tonight?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it definitely feels great when you can just get it going early and just see those shots go in. So, yeah, it definitely helped fuel me for tonight, yeah.
Matt?
For both of you, you had 5 different players, you 2 included, score 15-plus points. How much fun is a game like this when you have so many people contributing?
Incredibly fun. It's always good to just see your teammates eating, and I feel like it's contagious. So that's why multiple people have 15, because everybody on the bench was like sharing energy with each other, and I just thought it was super contagious.
Eli?
3 games into the season, you're adapting to playing with a lot of new players. What do you think you've learned from your teammates from game 1 to game 3?
Talking to me?
Either of you.
I've learned probably just have a little more patience, just with letting the game come to me, because I also have like a lot of good players around me, like Nick. So I know like when he gets the ball in the post, it's just gonna be eyes on him. So just learning how to play off of that and just finding my role on this team.
Jake? For either one of you, just what was it like seeing that torrid stretch from Max toward the end with 16 points in 9 minutes?
Nah, that's amazing, but that's stuff we see every day. Like, he has that in him. So, like, when you see him get off like that, it's just amazing to watch. I know the crowd was into it. Like, for a guy like that, like, it's just amazing to see. Yeah, that's all I can say. So yeah.
Any more questions? These two? Back.
For both of y'all, on that note, when Gus comes on the end of the bench, the fans were into it, y'all were into it on the bench. Kind of just what did that mean for him to get that point for that?
I'm sure it meant a lot. You know, Gus goes harder than anybody, you know, during practice, helping us prepare for the other team. And I think we held him on under 60, or did we? 63. So, you know, he did a good job giving us a look in practice. So I commend him on that.
AP, this is your first time seeing significant minutes pretty much throughout your collegiate career. How fulfilling is it to be playing this type of minutes and making this type of impact so early in the year?
I just truly see it as a blessing and as an opportunity, and just trying to make the most of it.
AP, you spoke earlier this year about how the coaching staff's faith in you has helped you thrive. How do you think that's helped you and given you the confidence to do what you're doing this year?
I feel like, you know, CC, Shane, B-Mac, they all just, even with the system that we have on offense, just gives me a platform to just show my talents, and I'm just grateful for that.
Okay. Any questions? Back.
After you hit your three in the first half, kind of raised up your arms to the crowd, what was kind of going through your head during that moment, and any special celebration there?
Kind of just did what came to mind. It was just, I feel like it was a free-flowing game, so that was just the emotion I was feeling at the time.
Eli.
On Max, doesn't play the first 30 minutes of the game. Coach talks about how he was still sort of showing a lot of enthusiasm for his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it, and what does it mean to see a guy who's not on the court still showing the same intensity as if you were?
That's the thing. I feel like we have a lot of different guys that can go, and Coach talks about this all the time, that we just need to have like a team ego. So just cheer for the next person in front of you. And Max did that, so Coach saw that and put him in. And Max is a microwave; he can get hot really quickly, and he did that.
Any more questions? Jay, to wrap us up, thank you.
Thank you guys.